All right, family. All right. What's going on this Sunday morning? Right, my apologies. Sunday afternoon. Good afternoon, family out there, right? Welcoming us who are the 1,200 plus strong, right? Who believe in, who love after, who hunger and seek, who have fun and enjoy that, which is a different view. Family, welcome in. Of course, we've already done our Mother's Day episode, but we wanted to hop on just a little dual two-way KJ here on the mic, wanting to talk about WWE BackLash for our wrestling fans out there. What's going on, family? Right? We said we were going to do these kinds of things going forward. We'll add in different things with sports and such. Of course, sports entertainment is what wrestling is. It's a good topic to put into when we talk about life and stuff, because much of what happens in life they pull from, right? Who like WWE BackLash, family, huh? For our wrestling fans, again, like we say with different things when we talk on Christianity and religion and such, those who do not subscribe to wrestling, right, as your magazine subscription of life, right, you can still peer in the window and gain some understanding of a thing, right, as far as life for those in your life that love wrestling. Which we must say this here, again, and as always, the wife sometimes is looked at as wisdom in the Bible, as her, right? God compared as wisdom, called her, right? This is a side note. And when you look at this kind of dynamic, the woman in our lives, family, right? This includes daughters and granddaughters and nieces, right, who are not mothers, right? This includes, again, mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, aunts, cousins, so on and so forth, all the various types by which the female, right, the feminine, the opposite in the yin and yang, if you will, of masculine that is there, right, always leading and guiding us, man. We have to be okay with what they're okay with. Again, as we were talking about family dynamic last time, right? Training as far as the child is concerned, but it does not end just with children, right? And the youth. It also affects those who are older, right? Who still have very youthful-like tendencies, if you will. It's not just training up children in the way they should go. We have to be okay in understanding the different various paths in which we are going. And many times in relationship dynamic, we get this, all talking about BackLash here, so don't think your boy tripping. Understand that at the end of the day, we got to be, it's just to say this, because this is needed to be said. This is another one of these things we must, if you're talking about encouraging and promoting, advancing, edifying, so on, so whatever word, to empower, right? Empowering family dynamic, we have to get okay with the different things that we like, family. Everybody not going to like the same thing. Damn it, this ain't Robot Factory out here, okay? Your daughter might like ballet. Your son may like, art, right? We'll get away from the things that most guys trip up over. Puzzle building, whatever it is. Get involved in their lives where they're at, family. They need you, right? Same thing with the husband and wife. We trip over the different things we like. Listen, if the wife like watching this, and you like watching that, then you better get okay with watching the other one with the other one if y'all want some time together. Or else, what happens is the things that we like become a division, family. Come on. This is not to just say that we don't have things we don't like, that we ourselves enjoy on our own. Because again, there is this dynamic that must be, we talk about this as far as with those freaking in the street, again, to have some level of decency and an order. So your boy come up with, again, no disease. These are just things that we have seen through history now that have caused pitfall. Excuse me. No disease. No unwanted heartbreak. Of course, when you're talking about humans trying to relate with each other, you're gonna break some eggs, okay? Just like cooking, right? You make a meal. At some point, you're gonna break some eggs. We understand, okay? But we're talking excessive heartbreak, right? And no unwanted children. Right? This is not what we're after. Okay? We understand the variables just under the law of averages that has been put down here again by what we see. Again, balance. as you see from a belief standpoint here, things are happening in balance, family. Averages. That's where a lot of these different words are coming from. Something's happening here in certain percentages. Another place is happening in different places, percentages, certain lows, certain highs. So again, the law of averages, family, right? So you're going to have some people like certain things. We got to get okay liking what they like. You ain't got to put on the full-on cheerleader outfit, right? You know, some people have the one that they reserve for the big game, as they say, right? Are the things that are really important. Then you have a different outfit for different things, right? We got to be okay wearing the different hats in our lives. Okay, so you might not be totally enthused. Like, for instance, between me and my wife, and shout out to you, honey, right? We talk a lot about how she'll go with me to these different places and such, right? And where I need to be better in returning the favor. Come on, fellas, right? This is Mother's Day we're talking. But at the same time, the willingness to be there and do that, man, that's important. That can't be spoken enough, man. Right, and something that we all can do in our lives with each other, man. It's meaningful. It's a meaningful thing, right? Backlash. Okay, so we all know about the John Cena Randy Orton thing. We'll start there first. Yeah, I won't start there first. So the first one, we'll do the Fatal 4-Way. So Fatal 4-Way, 4 guys in the ring fighting for the United States Championship, which is currently held by a Samoan in real life, right? Jacob Fatu. Okay. For whatever, again, you're going to have to get used to different cultures of the world. I know the man is good at hiding these things, but again, these are the things that wrestling is pulling from. They won't say it that way, you know. Normally when people get certain things, oh, we respect all, blah, 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 blah. You get the basic vanilla type answer. We want all 31 flavors, family, okay? Not just vanilla. We want that butter pecan. We want that chocolate, right? That was wild to find out the history of butter pecan, man. Just wouldn't let the black men and women eat vanilla ice cream. Just, it's not for you. So, in the spirit of ingenuity, man, that no man can control, black folks went ahead. They made butter pecan ice cream, right? I love me some butter pecan, by the way, and of course we use that for different ways. Caramel, right? Caramel swirl and all the all the different flavors, family, because that's what was put here. You know, everybody got a different. We understand that, right? We don't allow our preferences to then create problems. We ain't about that. Preference is your preference, but it should not become a problem, right? That's the difference. So Fatal 4-Way, you know, Jacob Fatu. I don't like where they're going in wrestling here. And again, this is why different promotions I believe are necessary, right? The champion is the champion is the champion. It happened like this with Swerve Strickland. And again, as you leave comments, let us be respectful in these things, because we can speak respectfully. But when it comes to WWE here, again, it's about the shine of the diamond and not caring about the diamond. So Jacob Fatu kind of wins. There's a certain way you talk about a clean win in wrestling, or a dirty win or a loss in wrestling, right? Kind of how you build up a character. I just don't have these people win outright. If you're going to put these belts on these different colored folk, to use the phrase that Massa uses to describe those who are of the dark and brown skin tone on this planet, then just outright do it. Okay, just out, have him win and have him lose outright. Because again, this kind of idea, he lost by like another wrestler from a different promotion now joining WWE, Jeff Cobb, for those who know, teams up with Solo Sikoa, and they get involved in or trying to help Jacob Fatu win. Let the man win on his own 2 feet. Of course, they're going to spin the thing. We're trying to help you. We where have we seen that before in life, right, family? So, yeah, that's just my little critique there. But again, shout out, it was Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest, right? So, Jacob Fatu was the victor. Then we get into Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. The man is back, right, family? So she made a return back at WrestleMania. Good to see, good match, and then some breakdowns started to occur. More of a jealous angle that they're playing with Becky Lynch. and this young Irish, they're both Irish, by the way, this young Irish girl, Lyra Valkyria. Again, where have we seen that? Where the older have a problem with the youth? Out of jealousy, y'all. We can say all the different things we want to say. There's a level of jealousy there. You get jealous. Let's use me specifically, right? Which I don't, but we talking about what we see in life, y'all. Me as a 45-year-old will get some sort of way over the 25-year-old. I've had this conversation in real life as far as cartoons are concerned, where my concern is with the cartoons that kids are able to see as to from what I saw as a child. Yet, though I have a critique on that, I'm not going to sit there now and say, y'all kids can't watch Bluey, right? I think that's one of these things out there. Or is it Coco Melon, something like that? That's another one of these kind of shows out there, okay? Whatever worked for whatever generation worked. We know when we talk about the boomer, right? Again, we're talking about this Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria match, because this is how they built this up, off the old and younger. And you didn't get anything without me, and I paved the way for you, and this is all the kind of stuff Becky Lynch is saying. Again, where have we seen that, y'all? We see it when people are rude in stores, right? When they're rude to these cashiers who are normally younger. It's never the older person talking back to the older person. They kind of keep quiet when it's an older person. They throw their weight around to the youth. That's sick. You learn that from Massa, by the way, right? This is all plantation mess. That's what this is. King and queen throwing the weight around. That's where you learned it. That's not a level of humility, right? So anyway, to digress from that, they have this match. Lyra gonna sit, what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna defend myself, and you're not gonna come in and take my this, that, and the other, right? And she wins the match, right? A hard-fought match. We all know Becky Lynch brings it whenever she wrestles, so scruffy Irish girl. We understand, right? Irish woman, right? She did her thing. But Lyra retained. It was for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. They just made that belt. Long time coming. But again, women put in that work. AEW need to do that kind of thing, man. For any exec who will hear this. Make an Intercontinental Championship belt for the women, man. Get the women involved. They're going to help you. We're just saying what it is, right? They got that, as they say, the spirit of influence, right? That power and ability in them, given them. Will help you. It'll help your business. But we digress, right? So, Lyra wins that match. Hard-fought match. So on and so forth. Next one up, Gunther versus Pat McAfee. So, of course, they're playing off the trope of when someone speaks. We see that in daily life, right? Again, normally bully. This is bully victim talk we're talking. The bully don't like when you come out and you say a thing about them, family. That's just what life is. It doesn't matter whether it's the father, the mother, the cousin, the son, the uncle, the daughter. It doesn't matter who it is. Aunt, niece, nephews. Whenever you call somebody out on their stuff, as in respect and in order and in love, when people ain't on their square, when they're not being honest, they don't like that. So they fire back at you. In this case, the firing back versus Pat McAfee, who is now a commentator, is him choking him out. So again, where have we seen that before in life, right? This is why we say you must be ready to defend yourself, because this is how Massa operate. You're just saying. Again, one of the lynchings back in the day during the Jim Crow era, right? Where we talk about Miss Mary Waller. Shout out to you, right? Mother to be. Go look up the story. We're not gonna say because it's dramatic, man. It's a very traumatic story about how the man is willing to treat mama, father, and child. And they play off this kind of dynamic, not like that, right? Because there's people, it wasn't really like that, KJ, come on. I know. But we're saying what the real is, okay? So from that standpoint, Pat McAfee put in the battle. Of course, he lost, as a commentator against a wrestler, right? But he showed something, man. He just not a punter ex-punter, I should say, from the NFL, man. The guy, he got some moxie. So we give him credit for that. WWE, I think, is saving their commentary booth collection by doing what they're doing. It's a good addition with Wade Barrett. It's a good addition with Pat McAfee because Michael Cole needs some help. We just being honest. We know he's 28 years in the game. Probably he'll retire at 30, or depending on whenever. If he was gonna leave, 30 years in would make sense. From my opinion, again, the opinion of the content creator. So we'll see how that works, right? We'll see how that works with him. But again, sometimes he bumbles and fumbles over what's said. That's not saying anybody doesn't. I do it here on the podcast, right? But it's just time for change. It's okay, right? JR's bowed out gracefully. He'll do some things here and there, but again, it's time for change, right? Bring up the young kids. This is the old passes the baton on to the youth, man. So we'll see how they go along with their commentary things over time here, right? But Pat McAfee put in the battle Gunther for the win, right? And that's the end of that. We'll see where that goes. We'll see where that storyline goes. And then you get into John Cena and Randy Orton. Again, kind of a throwback to basically 2006 all the way to about, we'll say 2013, 2017, somewhere in there, right? Where these men put on a show, right? We all know about Randy Orton and the RKOs out of nowhere and all the different videos we've seen online with that. We know about the You Can't See Me and all this with John Cena. We know about the heel turn before WrestleMania. Like we with John Cena, we know about all of this, right? And again, they put on a show that was a throwback to it. It ended in, again, another one of these non-clean finishes. And same thing like they did with Jey Uso. Jey Uso was like a non-clean finish on the Raw before this pay-per-view Backlash. Again, have these people win outright. I don't care who it is in the company. Have them win outright. If you're going to take the decision to put the belt on them, let's not do this two-step. Have them win. I understand it's about storylines and such. Play the storyline after the first match. And then you know what I mean? But let's have these people win, right? They deserve their roses too. So what's good for another wrestler is good for another wrestler. This is what it is, right? Especially if we're not going to play the quote-unquote color game, as they say. So again, Orton beat up John Cena in this one. Kind of the reverse of what used to happen back in the day where Cena would beat up Orton and he would escape with the skin of his teeth. And Orton lost in a very controversial way. He using the belt to hit him over the head with it and just all this kinds of stuff, right? So Orton lost, and we'll see where we go with that. I'm assuming until John Cena retires at the end of the year, I think is what it is. From in-ring competition in real life, this is what we're going to see. So, again, me personally, I think wrestling in general is right? It's on a little bit of a low. We're going through. People are going to go. They're going to get their money. They're going to get their tickets. They're living off the money, right? But some of the content you're going to get is kind of you know, that ladder match that was on SmackDown, the TLC, Table, Ladders, and Chairs match, is what TLC stands for those who don't know. Was nice. It was good. Was it as historic as the ones that before it? No, but it was a good match. Good tag team play and all that kind of thing. Synergy between the different tag teams. So that's what that was. You had, again, another one of these here, which what we'll end with. This was the last match that was there. Actually, the Cena and Randy Orton one was. Dominic Mysterio. Rey Mysterio's son is now wrestling family, right? And Penta. Now, Penta is come from AEW. He was actually on the scene, I believe, in TNA before that. He's in, an indie kind of revolution promotion, if you want to look at that type of wrestler. Him and his, I think it's actually his cousin. I don't think it's his brother. Somebody in the comments, if y'all are into it, let your boy know, right? Ray Phoenix. They were both the Lucha Brothers, again, in various promotions. The last one was AEW, which they horribly mismanaged them, and it's a shame they're not in that company. That's a real strike on AEW, but I digress, right? Again, we'll see how they use our luchador brothers and sisters going forward here, right? We'll see. We'll see. Again, the proof is in the pudding, is in the eating. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Another one of those phrases we got from Mama and Big Mama. And we'll see. Because again, the intentions, we as we know how WWE is operated over time, sometimes are not of the best intentions. It's just what it is. We love wrestling, we watch these things, but again, where wrong is wrong, wrong is wrong though. Dominic Mysterio, who is the Intercontinental Champion, that's what that match was for the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, Pinto loses, again, in one of these dirty kind of ways. If you're going to put a belt, which the Intercontinental Championship is about the wrestler who is putting in the most work. Me personally, and I think we've spoken on this before, they're trying to raise up the kids because, you know, you got older people, right? Cena and Orton are going to be on their way out. You're going to have a new crop, a group of people. They're not going to give it to Finn Balor because they done buried Finn a long time ago, right? Seth Rollins is more of a corporate puppet than he should be. Just saying what it is. We know CM Punk is going to be on his way out, and whether he's for the revolution of wrestling or not, and just for the bag for himself, whatever it is, right? They need to each their own. But, you know, so they need the fresh blood, and hence women like Lyra Valkyria, and there's a whole bunch on that side of it with the women, and folks like Dominic Mysterio, young men like that on the male side of it. So we'll see how it goes. Again, I think Dominic needed to win clean if you want him to be your Intercontinental Champion, but what they're going to constantly wind up doing, since he's with the Judgment Day, still is this kind of winning and losing by hook and crook, or more winning, by hook and crook. So that's what I got for y'all, family, today. That was the pay-per-view. Again, we knew it was going to be kind of blasé. It was blasé. It had some highlights, don't get me wrong. But, you know, overall, that's what we saw, right? So we'll see where they go with it. We will talk to y'all next time the next pay-per-view rolls around, or some big wrestling event, right? Keep in the know. Thank you, family, for walking this road with me today. Happy Mother's Day out there to the mothers and those who have been mother in our lives, right? And until next time, and as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.